All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Friday, end of the week here, end of the month, this July 30th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. As always, at this time of the day, welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Great to go live inside the trading room. Hopefully good to go on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. I didn't really have much of an agenda to really begin with here for this meeting. I mean, no real big runner on the way up. I guess have this ERYP stock on the screen still. Well, I guess we'll start with this, but more so it's the market dropping off heading into the end of the week and, like I said, end of the month. So this ERYP trade, I forgot the news and I don't have it up on Benzinga. Kind of lazy, so let me just pull that up here really fast. All right, so the news that came out real early in the morning on the ERYP stock, actually, mind you, from yesterday afternoon, it came out at like 4 o'clock Eastern time, trading higher after the company announced it was granted a U.S. FDA fast track designation for their drug in hypersensitive ALL. I don't know. Abbreviation ALL. It's in capital letters. But, seemingly what would appear to be good news for the stock was up big in pre-market. Now, this is something that, I learned in, one of my first lessons as, so to say, a student. I was employed back 7 years ago in 2014. I told you folks yesterday on social media, and for all of us live in the room, I feel that you folks know my story. And for anyone that's new, it's to say that, like I said before, I came in with zero trading experience to CTU back in 2014. I didn't know what a short was. I didn't know that you were able to bet on a stock going down. Now, with that in mind, one of the first lessons I ever learned back then was for a stock that's up, 80%, 90%, a hell of a lot more than it was even than that heading into the market open. You're going to expect to see a pullback right out the gate. And then the hope is to see it build support and then pop later on. And by later on, maybe like 5 minutes after, 10 minutes after, 20 minutes after at times. But nonetheless, this stock ended up popping right out the gate, it appears. But with that in mind, this is where I say if it ends up making that rare pop right out the gate, well, the volume is going to dissipate pretty quick. And it's like almost a guarantee. I rarely use that word in trading, but it's to say that it's going to come back down later on and it's going to make for a big drop. So this is almost like one of the most picture perfect pennants, wedges, however you may, describe it as, patterns out there, like the higher lows, lower highs squeezing in together. And the end result was catastrophic. It ended up leading to this big drop from 850 all the way down. Now, at this point, I had some lines in my chart, and earlier in the afternoon, I was commenting saying, I'm looking for a bounce on this stock. So for what it's worth, briefly, my morning today was pretty good. I didn't hit my target, but I was up. So I felt comfortable heading into a slow summer Friday, right? End of the month, right? So happy. But I ended up taking a 12-cent loss on this trade as it ended up getting me in from I think it was 675 at first. It broke under, then over. I felt great, but it ended up maintaining this downtrend off the highs. And then I ended up failing to set my stop, to be honest with you, at the time, and ended up dropping a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I took a $120 loss at that point, chipped away at some of my profit. At that point, though, it's pretty funny because, it's the ebbs and flows of trading, so to say. If you prep for a stock and if you know the levels that the stock is trading within, then odds are if the stock makes the move that you're looking for it to make at whatever level it may be, depending on the right volume that gets filled, it could lead to a nice opportunity. So I stepped away from my desk, right? I told you I did all right on the morning. I ended up chipping away at some of the profits here. I ended up taking however long it was, an hour break. I ended up taking a quick 45-minute hour break, prepped up some food. I'm here at my house working from my home office. Long story short, I come back and I'm flipping through my platform. AMC was bouncing from 37. I thought I missed that move. So I said, all right, let me go back to some stocks. I'm flipping through. And I landed on the ERYP. And lo and behold, the stock was right under 6, squeezing upward to 6. And anytime you happen to see that, it already kind of made that shake up and then broke below it again here. It's at least worth the entry. So I literally came back, I flipped through, and next thing you know, I'm in this trade right from 601, flying right on up. I got out at 647 prior to this meeting starting, and I wasn't really that confident of a huge squeeze back up because we see this happen all the time. For a stock like this ERYP, and maybe I could have left some money on the table. Maybe there was a chance it would go back up to 7, but obviously didn't. For a stock that trades this much volume across the whole day, let's compare it to what it does on a day-to-day basis. prior to the news coming out yesterday, or prior, well, I guess yesterday, with the after hours volume, it was trading 1.5 million shares by the end of like 8 p.m. Eastern. Quick water break. The day before, 18,525, right? Little suspense there, right? Day before that, 12,000 shares. This stock trades next to no volume on a day-to-day basis. So with that in mind, I'm not that like comfortable holding on to this type of trade, expecting this big, miraculous move up. There's a chance I could have left money on the table, but I'm happy to take the 46 cents that I had. For the 12-cent loss I took earlier today, I think that definitely compensated for it. So I'm happy with that. Right now, this stock, I only expect to see drop off now at this point, and I say that solely based on the last 5 minutes. If it was holding high, closer to 650, maybe I thought there'd be a chance for it to get back up to 7, but I don't think that's going to be the case right now. All right, so we're going to scratch this off our list for the meantime here. And like I said before, to start this meeting, I didn't really have much of an agenda to begin with. We didn't really have like a big crazy runner. If it was a big crazy runner, I guess it was the AHPI. So no better place to start than from the top. Today being Friday, of course, we'll talk about Bitcoin at the end, give you my thoughts on it, perhaps heading into this weekend. Bit of a drop off, and that was expected. I knew that was likely to happen, so totally comfortable on that. The AHPI, look at this move right now, not even so much from the morning, but for right now, taking us into this time of the day, it's getting back up towards that 10 level. Really quickly, let me pull this up on my book map right now. I can't drag it across my screen like I did from yesterday. I'm not working from the main office. That's not an easy maneuver right now, unfortunately. I'll tell you, though, right now, currently on the order book, for the AHPI trade live right now, there's like a 20,000 share bid at 950. There's a 48,000 share order on the ask at 10. So, that's assumed, 50-cent levels and whole numbers, but definitely 950 major order on the bid, 10 major order on the ask. Just kind of looking on a separate screen here in the meantime. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you, though. Otherwise, like in between, you're probably going to find a lot of choppiness, a lot of consolidation. Maybe, if anything, the minor level perhaps off of 975, which just had a tough time trying to break over just before here. So just keep an eye out on the order book to see if there's any other order that pops up that could be resistance. But yeah, definitely for right now, we'll put this on our list to begin the AHPI. Stock ended up making another big move up again today. We're at this point, we're getting pretty familiar with this trade, right? Vaccine stock that back in the middle of this month ended up making a big pop, drop, and then just sporadically, this week even just made some moves back up and then down, up again yesterday, and then took off today. So we'll look to see if this could either make a higher low and then run up, or, which I think that's going to be the more likely candidate, because now it's shaking. I was going to say, or perhaps it blasts right on up right now as I talk, but yeah, shaking down now, maybe 950 will kind of break under and over first. All right, so we'll keep it going here. Let me drag the price column for right now, just to see if there's anything like team here not worth our time. $324 ticker. DXCM, probably same there too. So we'll keep it going. ERYP, we just talked about. Actually, I didn't need to even click on that. HSTO, though, this is making a nice little move up here, a nice cheapie, 90-cent stock, 85-cent stock from today, and just broke out right now, seemingly. I don't know for what reason, if news came out. I did see Norman call it out, one of our students inside Cyber Group earlier, just before when I stepped back. I was in my trade at the time, so I didn't really have much of a chance to look, but I saw the call out. So obviously now, although pulling back, it looks like it's a nice level 1 stock at least. So if it totally dumps off, obviously it's not worth the time, but let's see if we could build support, maybe another under and over like I was talking about just before on the AHPI. But yeah, no news on this. It looks like last news report was back from the end of June. All right, so I'll add it for right now. Good call. And he called it out probably 10 minutes ago, so it was popping up on the way up. So that was a good call at the time. And right now, we'll hope to see if we could build support from here. There we go, Norman. Right now, I'm just glancing over the chat board, so if I don't read any comments until later on, I apologize. But for right now, I just saw Norman's post. He got 4 cents on it. Cool. Cheap stock like that. Well, not only cheap, but slow moving too. It's like, how much can you really expect on a trade like that? And if you leave money on the table, again, it's just like early afternoon. We still have a full hour left, and it's like kind of a shot day. Market's dropping off. So that was a nice catch. And markets are really dropping off right now. S&P's at the low of the day, and like really, like it looks like it's starting to accelerate on the way down. I am in one stock right now, and I'll play a little trivia game for all of us live inside the trading room. Really, mainly. I was calling out a few stocks today, obviously, but there was one stock I ended up really calling out more over the others. So, folks, let me know what stock I'm in. I didn't really like say it before I ended up starting this meeting, but I am in one trade right now. Take a quick guess, perhaps. APT. It is not APT. But for right now, APT alongside the AHPI vaccine play. I mean, this one was the one more from this week that we've been trading. I mean, the AHPI we've been following from the last month too, but this one just really steady up across the whole week, more as a swing trade, but made some nice pops here, right? Ended up making a nice new high of the day just before, but really ugly shake now. Actually, right as I go through that, let me just check back in on the AHPI. It's already on our list still, but yeah, that seems to still be building that support. Did it break under and over 950 already? Yeah, it did. Oh, yeah. So now's the point. This thing's got to shoot up right now, probably in the next like 1 to 2 minutes, I'd imagine. Like TikTok, sooner is better than later. If it wants to go, at least. If it doesn't, then be on the lookout. All right, so we got from Andrea saying CCL. Yep, that's it. We'll talk about that trade coming up probably once we jump over to the losers list. Got Lee here. Lee ended up making a nice pop. I don't know if that was earnings based or what. I think it could be. But either way, nice pop from earlier today from like 31 even. You could even call it 30.50. But really, I'll zoom out on the 1 minute chart. Once it broke out over 31, that's where it ended up making its real big move. So, that was really shortly after the market opened up, in fact. So, really no time for a slingshot or a pullback. That ended up really kind of consolidating around like 31.25-ish, 31.50-ish. And from there, made the next move up. So, nice run up on this Lee trade. Ended up crapping out right around that famous 10:30 time, reversal time we like to call it. So, it's not on. I mean, it was on cue here, but we don't guarantee that for every stock, right? I mean, sometimes it's even a little bit before 10:30, sometimes it's after 10:30, depending on market trend and activity altogether for the stock. Nonetheless, the SPY topped off right around like 10 o'clock, maybe 10:15, whereas this kind of kept going a little bit more, ended up kind of dropping off right around 10:30, and I don't know. Right now, I guess it could still just be a tradable stock. Maybe I'll come back to it at the end if I feel I need to. All right, so as I like to say, and now the SPY is starting to kind of inch back up briefly here over the last 5-minute candle. Let me just jump over to the losers list, but probably not find as much on the gainer side now at this point. And Sava got crushed, huh? I don't know what happened here. It's hard to borrow today. It actually used to be shortable. Man, this stock, its second day in a row, got beat up, huh? I didn't notice this yesterday afternoon. I mean, I'm just kind of skimming through, and when I see prices, I know that this was pretty expensive out of our price range for the most part, so, I don't care to look for it, but, I saw it today for the first time. I thought I saw it for the first time today, I guess, maybe yesterday, but nonetheless, this stock's been taking a huge drop off, and I don't know. Right now, obviously, we'll pass on it for this afternoon. Maybe one day it'll kind of fall back within our price range. This Sava stock's been through the spin cycle over the last year and a half. Look at this thing. Actually, let me go to like a weekly chart too. Even better. So this stock, we were trading even as early as 2016, I remember, and ended up making a huge gap down at that time, dropped off, on and off from news, pops and drops, but more so going back into like 2019, this stock ended up making a huge run up. 2021 here, pop from 20 all the way up to 100, ran up even higher, obviously dropping right now. So perhaps you could say long overdue. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe over time we'll find the stock again within our price range. Pinterest, I know Fausto has this more as a swing trade even as well. So when he puts a stock like this Pinterest stock on our watch list, it's more as a swing trade, right? And he told you folks he was happy to be out on this finally. It did squeeze up a little bit after the market opened up, but obviously dropped off with the market here. So, right now it is shortable, but pretty expensive as a day trade right now. Unless if it was really dropping off, breaking below 58 right now, I'd be more interested, but we'll pass. All right, so see what else we got here on the loser side here. JD down over 8%. Oh, no, JO. Whoops. Ooh, my eyes. I need stronger contact prescription here. Jeez, JDJO, it's been a long week. My eyesight or trader's dyslexia, either way, whatever it is. All right, so what else we got here? OPK, I know that stock. We followed that over the last year and a half with the vaccine, but actually this is an antibody testing company, if I'm not mistaken, but at the low of the day, shortable. Andrea pointing out live right now inside Cybergroup that the Tal trade broke 6. My CCL trade, it started to peak back up. Perhaps I should have gotten out. I'm in right now from 2167. I've been in from like 2:15 Eastern time, and I don't know. I did so well on the stock from earlier today, and thankfully I could say that. It's not for like me to like cockily say that, but from this morning, this was like my bread maker today. I ended up getting a short off on this stock from 22.65 on 500 shares, got out at 22, got out at 21.80 on the second half. So ended up doing really well for me. I'm hoping for this to make a lower high right now and pull back down. If it doesn't do that, I got my stop already set. I don't really care if I take a loss here, and I'll probably jump back in if it ends up fooling me and shaking back down. But, this stock could be one to watch, just obviously with the mask mandate situation, with the COVID, variant, numbers increasing, perhaps you could say, or at least the fear of them. I haven't looked into the numbers. That's not the conversation to have right now. But CCL, it's shortable, right? That's why I was looking at this going into the market open. It wasn't on our morning list, but it's on our side list. It's a stock that I'll at least consider if the market's down, if it's coming off of news, whatever it may be. I thought it was a crap Friday morning in pre-market, so much so that I ended up private chatting Fausto early in the trading room at like 8 o'clock even, and that is as early as it gets to officially make the ruling that there's absolutely nothing out there. Thankfully, there was a lot out there after the market opened up. The AHPI trade, obviously the CCL did really well for us inside the trading room. The ERYP trade, at least just before, I know a couple of us jumped in there with me from the 6th level. The TAL trade still could be an option, so I'll take a look at that coming up right now. So there could be stocks to trade, but again, it's the end of the month, end of the week, summer. The writing's on the wall for it to be kind of lackluster. Yeah, Tal broke over 6, maybe trying to make the same move as that ERYP trade that I caught before. All right, add a guy Felix. Let's see, you got 30 cents. All right, cool, nice. You got AHPI, who's in from 9.58. He got out right now at 9.88 at Felix. We talked about it earlier this week in coaching. You can get right back in on the damn trade if it ends up making the move. And is it gonna right now? Stay on the mic for a little bit here. I have no problem doing that for us on YouTube or Facebook Live right now. Got a stack of volume on the ask that has to cut through. It already false broke over 10 earlier today. If I'm not mistaken, let me jump back to the daily chart here too, because if you look, the high from Monday this week, no, high from last week even, you can call it, Monday of last week was 10.19. High the day from today, 10.25. So, barely broke over that, pulled back. So I feel like it's still going to have a tough time breaking over those orders and breaking over that peak. So there's definitely going to be an opportunity to get back in. But that was a nice entry, though, Felix. Nice trade. All right, Norman got 11 cents on B-Cell. I don't know if that's typo. If you meant F-Cell? No, I don't think so. It's funny. I've never heard that ticker before. Was that F-Cell's cousin? B-Cell here. Ooh, nice squeeze. Yeah. Wow. And stock ended up taking a huge drop yesterday. I'll take a look at the news in a second, but I'm more interested because prior to the drop yesterday, and even the day before that, stocks trading just under 1 million shares a day. That's not like, piss poor. That's not like terrible, compared to that ERYP that was trading like 10,000 shares a day. At least the order book is liquid, and obviously since that time it traded 5+ million shares yesterday, trading 2 million shares just right now. So yeah, nice catch, Norman. And that's why we like to post the profit, because, I don't know if Norman called it out earlier. Maybe I missed it from the chat, but even if I didn't, maybe he didn't have time to call it out. He jumped in the trade, started making money, and at least right now he called it out. It's on the way up to 550. It's up 11.5+%. Nice. Never seen this stock before. It could be a nice dead cat balance. Well, it's already a nice dead cat balance. Maybe a gap fill. I'll tell you what, my eyes are actually like It's tough right now. Jeez, I might need new glasses. B-Cell Etreca, I guess that's the name of the company. B-Cell shares trading lower after the company highlighted presentation of clinical data from its phase 1B trial. I guess not good news in regards to that. So nice recovery here, though, for the meantime. And this might be getting halted soon. It's making a nice squeeze up so far. So if it keeps going at this rate, I'll tell you, it's going to get halted. So B-Cell definitely put on our list here. I would just be wary of the volume dumping off from really sharply. If it ends up pulling back, if we end up seeing like a really sharp dump off in the volume traded per minute going forward, then I would assume for it to be, unfortunately, like a pop and drop type of stock. And that's it. All right. Norman said he did call it out earlier. I apologize. Oh, he did. Yeah, 242. So a little bit before it ended up taking off, right? Cool. Nice. I didn't see that until right now. My apologies. All right, so we'll check on YouTube right now. See from RJF right back again, calling out my not my, but our stocks here now as a group. BLIN, MRIN. Those stocks ended up making some nice runs from earlier today. That's right. And I skip them? I guess I skipped them here as I jumped through. I don't know. Did I? I mean, if I actually skipped over them, I apologize. But yeah, both of them ended up making beautiful runs from earlier. This could be a nice play, or it could have been a nice play off of 8. And at this point now, it's starting to pull back a bit. So, if you're in this stock right now from 8, you really got to see it kick off that level, like right now. Because otherwise, look at the daily chart, right? We've seen the stock pop and drop before. Already popped, pulling back now. So, nice entry off of 8 if you're in it right now, but I would like to see it pop soon. The BLIN trades relatively similar, not the exact same. You can see it ended up making a sharper run up, sharper drop off, at least heading into the afternoon. This one, not really that much tradable. I'd be more interested at least in that MRIN, but I don't think either of them are going to continue, to be honest. That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, then I'll be happy to be wrong there. WTRH from Doug on YouTube right now. Little inch up here on this WTRH stock. Nice level 1 trade. Up 12%, pushing up greatly here. Nice. Order on the ask at 199, 31,000 share order up top, and likely for there to be an even bigger order at 2, I would assume. It's through the NASDAQ, so there's got to be likely resistance off of 2 that I'll see on Bookmap once we're done with this meeting. Really quick on the AHPI stock, I'm looking back on my Bookmap, my level 4 program that we have. There's a 57,000 share order on the ask at 990 on that stock right now. I'm going to jump back to that just so we could all see it, not the Bookmap, but the chart. Let's see. You can see 10,000 of those shares right now on the order book at 990, but on level 4, it's probably through the other ECN that they have, the Direct Edge X. There's like a 57K seller right at like 990. So I'd be really careful on that trade. All right, so the WTRH, getting back to that last one from Doug on YouTube, yeah, I like that for right now. I mean, if we're going to put any stock on our list at this point, it's going to be something that's moving up pretty nicely. That almost has like too much volume on the book, so hopefully it's not like watching the grass grow from this point. But for right now, definitely a good call. Works from Tony W on inside the trading room. Then from here, I'll jump to Bitcoin. We'll wrap up from there. This work stock, we ended up doing pretty nicely on this one from earlier today, right? This was also one of my better trades. Ended up jumping in right around 230-ish. I think maybe like 235 or 238 even. Ended up pushing it up a little bit. I got out right around 260. There was an order on the ask there, broke over it, pulled back. So right now, I'm not as keen to like really trade this now. Already made its big move. I got one for you folks, and we'll just take a look at it. I have no idea. And yeah, I was going to say, I have no idea what the chart looks like. This Endo trade, ENDP, it's at the highs. I got that ping right now on Benzinga. That just doesn't mean that we're going to trade it. The stock is at the high, but it's just not really that like fast. I don't know. I'd rather trade that other one that we have, the WTRH. All right, so really quick, folks, let me just, I'll do this. I'm kind of lazy today. So here we got this. This is my Benzinga here. So really quickly, I'll just show you right now. Otherwise, there's our Endo trade. NRXP's at the high of the day. Nikola at the low of the day there. That's hard to borrow. Trust me, from yesterday afternoon on Nikola, we'll get back to that at the end, I guess. But man, that was our best play yesterday afternoon, the Nikola stock. It was shortable yesterday. It's hard to borrow today, so I didn't really care to look for it, but that is obviously still dropping off. Here's Bitcoin. So really quickly, not much to write home about from the last time we caught up with it back here, this vertical line back from Wednesday the 27th. Wednesday the 28th, pardon me. But otherwise, I was telling you folks, to be no surprise to see this drop off back down towards the 100, 200 EMA at least. I mean, it wouldn't shock me to drop down towards right around 36, if anything, before it penultimately moves back up. No news out in regards to any major companies, with Bitcoin and all of that. I know MicroStrategy reported earnings yesterday afternoon, but they've been bullish the whole time on Bitcoin, so it's like no surprise they're still holding. They got like 105,000 Bitcoins in total, so that goes to show how much that company really values the long-term belief in Bitcoin. But really, again, not much to write home about. I'll just show the 6-hour chart here. And again, where we were kind of hoping for back like 3 weeks ago, we'll probably call it like right over here. We were hoping to see it break over the 100 EMA, run up towards the 500. Didn't happen at the time, dropped down. I ended up adding right here, ended up pushing back up a couple of days later, we'll call it, or a day and a half later. And then now at this point, it made the move up to the 500 EMA. This is where I'll tell you, it's going to pull back down again. It's going to pull back down towards that 36 right here. I assume for it to at least. And if that happens, I'm going to add right away. All right, so that's all I got for you. Oh, no, that's not all I got for you. Right over here, too, this is the last thing I wanted to show. This website I'll show every now and then. This shows like long and short interest across one of the major exchanges. So, long story short, no pun intended there, honestly, but it's to say, I'll catch myself in puns like that at times. But, the short interest has dropped off over the last 2 weeks. Not a whole lot's happened the last few days, but last 2 weeks, short interest dropped off. Prices moved up since, and really not much otherwise. So, we'll check this site every now and then here too. That's all. All right. So last one I see here from the trading room, APT from Scott. Yeah, I guess that's starting to push back up, huh? The AHPI stock we'll check back in with. That one's like kind of rounding off. So I don't know if the APT is gaining a little strength, and if that hasn't totally dumped off yet, that AHPI, maybe both will run in tandem together heading into the close. I'm hopeful. So, at least kind of put more spotlight on that stock. All right, but I'll tell you, that's pretty much all I got here, folks. Got from one of our members here, Amolia. Let's see. I hope I pronounced that right again. I apologize if I did not. The watch trade ended up popping up earlier, right at noon. I don't know what the news was. Right now, it's flat. Just not much going on right now, so I'm going to pass on it here. Good stock to consider maybe if there was more activity on it over the last 30 minutes to an hour, but it's like nothing right now. I mean, it could be a stock to watch come next week. Maybe if there's more activity in pre-market one morning, if it breaks above resistance again, so maybe keep it in mind, but pass for right now. Oh, that's right. So the last one, that's right. The NRXP, that's the one I said I would jump back to later, right? She said, nice pop. So I guess that continued going. That was the last one from Benzinga I said I was going to take a look at. Oh, yeah, that's looking great right now. Nice. All right, so kind of on a slow Friday where we're kind of like looking for a really good trade. I mean, we have a decent list, but, unless the B-cell is really strong, nothing that I'm like too extremely confident in. I'll tell you, this NRXP is flying on up, making a really nice run here, so definitely a nice addition. All right, so folks, otherwise, this is where I'll tell you, unless if you're already in a trade and have your stop set, managing it, I would look to call it a day if you had already hit your target. If not, and if you're looking to trade, then stick with us. Myself and Rich will keep the chat going heading into the afternoon. He'll be on pretty shortly from right now. I'll jump on myself right around 3:30ish. All right. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, as always, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon, in fact. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, notify icon right on our YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, just go right down to the link on the banner below to get yourself started on a small trial there with us. All right. Otherwise, enjoy the weekend. We'll catch back with you folks coming up next week on Monday. Take care.